we're first going to hear from Marisa Henderson, the Creative Economy Program Chief at UNCTAD, followed by the remarks from Her Excellency Sheikha Alia Khalid, Assistant Under Secretary of the Cultural and Creative Industry Sector at the UAE Ministry of Culture and Youth. Please welcome Marisa to the screen.
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to participate with you. It has been an amazing day. I just wanted to, it's impossible for me to summarize all the important points, everything that has happened. So just let me give you some highlights of today, because the Friends of Creative Economy has been since the creation. It was a vision by Indonesia to create this group, and has been supporting an ongoing view and supporting the creative economy, and has been blooming over the last 3 years. So on the one hand, I want to really thank the opportunity of the UAE for being here, but also Indonesia for having this amazing vision to put forward and create these Friends of Creative Economy that are giving the voice and are sustaining and providing life to the creative economy during the conferences. So let me just mention the importance of the United Nations General Resolution that was declared 2021 the International Year of Creative Economy, and that was very important. Was for the first time that the creative economy as a concept had a resolution and was accepted by member states as an important concept for countries to include in their development economic agenda. And as many speakers have mentioned, we could not expect at that time what was going to happen in 2021, let alone 2020. But it has actually been a blessing to be able to promote and to foster, to raise awareness of this important sector during the pandemic, and because it shows that it recognized the creative economy as a sustainable development tool as economic growth, to foster innovation and provide opportunities and benefits to empower people, particularly women and young people. So the resolution was very important, and it happened in a crucial time. As speakers before, this year, the United Nations received the call and worked together to respond to member states' requests. And what a year has been. The United Nations, and I don't speak on the UN behalf, but I've been working with the different organizations who have mobilized all their creative knowledge and experience to bring together this international year. And only in the case of UNCTAD, we worked together with many UN organizations and other international organizations. And we have a roadmap of events of about 40 events that we did all over the world with UN in cooperation with UNESCO, WIPO, and many other UN organizations as well as others. And the response has been incredible. So this year, I must say, it was an incredible response from people. There is an audience, there is a need, and I think there is a future. And as Sylvie from WIPO was saying, she also mentioned that she senses that sense of collective consensus, that the importance that there is a momentum going and we need to go from here. So let me just bring another issue that happened this year. As you said, that as UNESCO mentioned, it was a very important, the group of 20 that for the first time they brought the issue of creative economy, but not only within the culture, but also in the group of tourism. So where creative industries are associated with tourism, and the link between the two is very important. And then in the cultural working group, it is also very important the recognition by culture ministers and foreign affairs ministers to the need to include in their development programs the issues of creative industry. This is something that many countries have been working for many years, but that now this recognition that to bring it together, to see that it's necessary for the recovery, to have an inclusive recovery, to include the issues, the creative sector as part of the development programs, as part of the recovery. And this is very, very important. UNCTAD 15, we have another important ministerial conference that was the 15th session of the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, was UNCTAD 15 in November, and it has given creative economy an important mandate from member states. And this now, we are closing officially the 2021 year economy. This meeting also is a crucial stepping stone in the road towards a plan of action. I would like to bring to your attention an important event that is coming next year in January, which is the least developed countries meeting in Doha. And already least developed countries have recognized the importance of creative industries for their exports, to eradicate poverty. They recognize that there is an untapped potential of LDCs, creative industries, to create full and productive capacities. So, and the importance of promoting this issue for export earnings. So, and this will be for the next year. Also, His Excellency from UNESCO, Ernesto Ottone, mentioned the importance of data, and this is something that I think where the United Nations can really play a role. And I think it's important to mention the work that the UN Task Force on International Trade Statistics are doing in New York. And next year, they're working on creative industries and particularly creative cultural products and creative services. This is a very important work where the UN can be very, very instrumental. And we at UNCTAD, at UNESCO are working on this, and we're hoping that together we will be able to continue doing this. Then let me tell you that we have for the first time next year, we will have the first interagency report on creative economy to be submitted to the General Assembly in October 2022. This is the report that the resolution called for a interagency report by UNCTAD in cooperation with UNESCO and other international organizations to write a report on the implementation of the resolution. And we have been working with UN agencies. UNESCO and UNCTAD are leading an interagency group, and this report will be presented next year at the second committee. And this is a very, very important. The meeting that we are having now is going to be also important for the report of the General Assembly. So let me finish by saying that the creative economy stands as a new frontier of development. And it moves, in our opinion, from industrialization and commodities and manufacturing into the knowledge-based economy. I firmly believe that the developing countries and develop as well can develop and nurture a more integrated policy framework. and their creative industries will be able to widen and deepen, and they will be able to have more opportunities if we do it in a sustainable way. Now, I think this meeting today and the next few days have given us the opportunity to highlight the power of creative economy as the 2021 International Year draws to a close. At the same time, we're going to, as he says, the DG of UNESCO mentioned, we are now have to think about the plan of action for next year, where we want to go together and how we're going to go from here in terms of policy framework, in terms of action, in terms of research, and including data. So I wanted to finish this and with a big thank you for everybody.
Thank you, Marisa, for... Okay, go live on the mic. Thank you, Marisa, for your closing remarks and for being able to join us virtually here at the WCCE 2021. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage for her closing remarks, Her Excellency Sheikha Alia Khalid.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Your Excellency Marisa Hendrson, for sharing your observations with us today. It was a pleasure to hear you speak about the creative economy, and thank you very much for summing up the day's proceedings. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for being here today and making the time to raise some very relevant points about the course of the creative economy and for exploring solutions to make it more inclusive. It was an honor to host such an accomplished and diverse set of speakers and to listen to a stream of new ideas and fresh perspectives. As we wrap up the Friends of Creative Economy session, our presence here is a testament to our shared ambition of driving action towards the creative economy and to bolster the cultural and creative industries as a sector with tangible economic benefits. More importantly, coming together on this platform goes to show our commitment to sharing information and acknowledge and being an integral part of each other's growth. As we strive to build value chains of global society on multiple levels, from sustainable development to financial, social, and cultural prosperity, we realize how important collaborations are, even more so in the context of the creative economy. The cultural and creative industries, CCI, have been an engine of economic growth across the globe for a long time. In order for us to engineer an inclusive and successful environment for the ecosystem to flourish, the fundamental value of sharing and capturing ideas is the basis. We can't succeed unless we encourage and enable the sector to collaborate and create meaningful connections to thrive. The future will be driven by cross-sector collaborations, partnerships, harnessing the interconnectedness of industries enriched by continuous exchanges. Interdisciplinary exchange of ideas is the vital component of the success of various industries and creative pursuit, from music to architecture and design, finance to neuroscience. This is what captured in today's discussion. It will continue to drive the narrative in the forthcoming period leading up to the next edition of the WCCE. We heard firsthand from stakeholders about building global creative cities with their respective regions to promote social development. We also heard some inspiring stories of grit and resilience that would definitely inspire fellow creatives operating in the cultural and creative realm. I must add here that the forum today was more than just words, as we saw the decision of 11 key actions for the global agenda for the cultural and creative industries. We saw how entrepreneurs, investors, policymakers, academics, and creatives from across the world came together to take decisive action and set out an agenda for the immediate future. I'm so proud to have witnessed this landmark announcement. I hope that you have been inspired to take the global creative economy to newer heights. More importantly, the panels and presentations today also showed us the vital significance of inclusive approach to the sector. As this session has clearly demonstrated, the term inclusively creative is not just an expression of an ethical value and an ideal, but also an idea that is applicable to our pursuit of greater economic potential for the sector. Going forward, our discussions at the Friends of Creative Economy meeting will help us set the tone for the upcoming sessions over the next couple of days. It will help us lay the key action points for the UAE WCCE 2021 agenda. That will be an outcome of the World Conference on Creative Economy 2021. And finally, it will lay the foundation of the succeeding sessions until we meet next time in Indonesia for the third WCCE. I thank all the speakers for the ideas that they shared with us today, and I thank each one of you for your presence and wishing you an incredible time ahead. Thank you very much.